Hello, welcome to Dragonfly 13TT. My name is Frances Richardson. I am the owner of this YouTube channel as well as all of the content and material, saluting those that step outside of mediocrity and challenge themselves to live their dream. This video is more or less specifically directed to and or about Terry Shepard. Congratulations on your K Jewelers commercial. I didn't quite hear the content, but I had seen your commercial. Congratulations. And I'm going to first establish who I am and then establish some facts in regards to your smoking family. Since you're a fan of mine, I am under the assumption that you are fully aware of who Frances Richardson, date of birth 10/10/68, the travel through time Frances Richardson, which is my ability, the ability to travel through time, as well as prophetic dream visions and clairsentience. It's a family name brand, one that I have fought hard for, unnecessarily so. However, I have fought hard for it and won. My missions that began in July of 2009 that accompanied Covenant was completion of triathlon as a natural remedy, holistic remedy to a breakdown I had in the year 2007, and the completion of my military veterans legislation in Washington, D.C. And that began in July of 2009, and the year 2000 and from the year 2010 to this very day, I have had local as well as state and federal government stalk me, private sector security surveillance stalk me, and the irony of it was they were stalking me with information from my condominium, information from 2007, 8, and 9 prior to me being evicted from my home in 2010. So I am fully aware that you know the fact that they're stalking me, and I'm stalked 24/7. And a continued video I'll be posting one within the next couple of days in regards to No Conspiracy, No Cover. That would be the title to that video. Anyway, as to my abilities, as I said, was travel through time. I'm the only one out of 7.5 billion that traveled through time. It is an ability that I have studied all my entire life for, and like I said, it was a hard-fought win. The underdog won. And as for my military veterans legislation, I'm real tired of it being leached. I have been financially broke because of it. I've been homeless most of the better part of the last 6 years because of it, and I've ended this homelessness a few times. The financial repercussions, as some of the security surveillance says, as punishment for having military veterans in my family, as well as the completion of my military veterans justice legislation in Washington, D.C. We can't all author a military veterans legislation in Washington, D.C. Some of the financial punishment was I am a whistleblower from the sign language interpreting industry. 2011, March of 2011, I was, around March, April 2011, I was denied my sign language, the renewal of my sign language interpreting certification. 2011 to 2016, that was in Austin, Texas. I've lost approximately $300,000 at $50,000 to $60,000 a year career, authoring 3 books, fiction, non-fiction, comic book. One would have been my autobiography, which needs to be written by nobody else except myself, considering the fact that I grew up in a deaf culture, which is completely different than most people. $13,000 family inheritance, which included the $3,800 purchase of a Cherokee Jeep, which the owner of the dealership installed a camera. The dealership was Oasis in Houston, Texas. I had recorded his recorder recording me. I never did find the camera in the car, in the vehicle. That $3,800 I want back, as well as in-town suites, the diminishment of 5 computer hard drives. That was the money from my lawsuit. That was money from my family inheritance. And it took me 6 months to write the in-town suites lawsuit. Once I finished it, I applied to go to college at Houston Community College, knowing that after tuition and books, I'd have enough money left over to file the lawsuits. And Houston Community College, being fully aware of who Francis Richardson was, as well as Francis Richardson, the original Francis Richardson's missions, intentionally deleted my registration records so I would not have access to those funds the fall of 2014 as well as the fall of 2015. And as for the another quick footnote of the Oasis car dealership in Houston, Texas, I deliberately used the name Erica so that I would be able to trace it back to you if anybody else was recorded in my favor. The Pope in Italy. I was done with the Irma Lancaster receptionist at a real estate agent, David Weekley, Houston, Texas, in 2007. It's over. And I'm tired every time I go to a church, one of these receptionists stating that they're Irma. The Irma Lancaster and Francis Richardson affiliation is officially over. That includes you too, Sue Adrian. Okay? It's over. Respect her wishes. I did. However, if you wish to answer my question about clairsentience, I'd greatly appreciate it. Because I have really had no one to confer with as to my abilities, except to enter a covenant and continuously pray and ask for guidance from God, as well as my guardian angels, which, yes, American Hero Channel, there are guardian angels. And if American Hero Channel identified Francis Richardson, the one with the triathlon path mission, well, then I'm pretty sure most other people knew, as well as Barack Obama himself, because I find it no coincidence of, I had several prophetic dream vision hits. However, I find it the one that is not too peculiar is the Bergdahl incident. Him being captive for 5 years around 2012, the summer of the fall of 2012. I was made aware of his actions by my guardian angels. She had very fine, thin lips. They're Bergdahl. It also happens to be the last 4 letters of one of my family names. Like I said, the family military veteran service of Francis Richardson is deeply sentimental, and I really just don't share it with any Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks up off the street. I don't really give a damn if you're a smoker or not. Now, as for the Terry Shepard smoking family, it's a privilege for someone like Terry Shepard to make a family out of smokers. And there's only room for one godfather, and that's the one who made him, Terry Shepard. So if Barack Obama knew who I was, American Hero Channel knew who I was, then I know the Zelensky law firm knew who I was when last month I stopped by there, because that was the deal to get these lawsuits filed, since I haven't been able to make the money. McDonald's lawsuit, as well as assist in the fees of the In-Town Suites lawsuit, which I have already authored. I am already a millionaire. It's just a matter of filing these lawsuits. However, I did have the ability, had In-Town Suites not crashed so many of my computers, And the Solinsky law firm just continued a predictable pattern that I've seen of wanting to role play around. And after a couple of attempts, I just left because I wasn't going to have it. And Terry Shepard, I can tell you, I was cussing that law firm left and right, up and down. They knew about my military veterans legislation. They know about my military veterans work. And they know that it was to advance my military veterans legislation as well as the completion of this triathlon. And just a lot of the smokers, there's been no hierarchy within the smoking family, and there's been underperformers just at this so-called attempt to steal, and there is no way I'm relinquishing my family military veteran service and or my name brand. I've worked too hard for it. So that's, I guess, pretty much it. Pretty much said all I needed to say in this one. And as for the visit to VFW, Barack Obama made June 2nd, 2016 in reference to someone politically on the right in the halls of VFW. I have visited several VFWs in regards to this legislation. However, I have worked hard also to keep the politics out of it. Nobody on either political side is going to grab a platform and take credit for it, because I don't believe that military veteran causes is the place to advance a political agenda. And I also fought hard for that as well. And as for the little less than 2 million VFW's response to Barack Obama's VFW speech he made June the 2nd, 2016, I'm fully aware that VFW also knows who I am. I've poked fun at him and will continue to do so, as well as Wounded Warriors. I personally have no need to role play and or use them in any it's of no benefit to me to use them in any manner. I was spending my own money on this military veterans legislation. That was what I had expected to do. I didn't expect it to cost me anything additional that it shouldn't have. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. I also made a video that I opted out of the smoking family, and it was for that specific reason, because there were just too many underperformers that wanted to step into territory that I'm just not going to let them step into. And it's mostly that military veterans legislation, as well as my military veterans family service and my work. I'm just I'm not going to share it. I get too deeply sentimental over it, and I get real freaking livid about it, Shepard. And I ain't going to do it. I ain't nobody's bitch. I ain't your bitch. I'm not American Heroes Channel's bitch. I ain't nobody's bitch when it comes to that. So, anyway, I still think you're badass. But I also think traveling through time's badass. And I've worked hard for my ability. And that's pretty much it. So, I just wanted to say that. And, Godspeed.